Welcome back, everyone, to another episode on Beer, Bourbon, and Games. I am your host, Chris, and today we're going to do something on the channel that we have not done before. We are going to review a budget bourbon. Now, most of the stuff that we have reviewed so far has been between the $25-ish to $50 range, somewhere in there, which isn't necessarily expensive. That's kind of the going rate for most pretty good stuff, or really good stuff. Sometimes you get lucky, like Eagle Rare only being $30. That's a diamond in the rough. But what if you're a baller on a budget, you're new to bourbon, or you just want something to mix stuff with? What do? You've got to go ahead and grab the bottom shelf. Now, how low are we talking? We're talking a 750 milliliter bottle for $8. That is a pretty good deal. Now, what are we going to review? We are going to take a look at Heaven Hill 6-year. I believe it's 6-year. Actually, I don't think they label this anymore. It is Heaven Hill 80 proof. I said 6-year because they used to have a 6-year bottle and bond, but no one really knows why they discontinued it, but they did. The rumor is they discontinued it because they hate us, and they just wanted to piss us off because it sold extremely well for what it was. Maybe it sold too well. I'm not sure, but unfortunately they replaced the 6-year 100 proof bottle and bond with this, I believe, no age statement 80 proof instead. So we've got 20 less proof, but we have an $8 bourbon. So what are we going to get out of this? Is it only going to be good enough to mix cocktails with? Or is it going to be something that we can drink straight up without really having any qualms about it? Let's take a look and see. Now, I feel like I'm honestly really overdressed for this one. This is going to be really, really bad. I'm dressed in business casual, and I'm drinking $8 bourbon. So before we pour it, let me just take a look here. It says it's mellow smooth, charcoal filtered, established shortly after Prohibition. Heaven Hill Old Style Bourbon is a genuine sour mash whiskey. It is produced using a time-proven method by 6th and 7th generation master distillers whose craft has been passed on from generation to generation. Charcoal filtered just prior to bottling, this bourbon is known for its smooth yet mild and mellow flavor. So let's pour our $8 bourbon into our Glencairn. Feels like hypocrisy. So right off the bat, we will note that this is an extremely light colored bourbon. It's only 80 proof. It is the bare minimum, so I'm not surprised by that whatsoever. It is charcoal filtered, so the impurities are gone. And if we look at it, it looks honestly like honey, liquid honey. That is the best way to describe it. It is actually a really pretty color. I really like the way that it looks. It is very nice, light-bodied. Let's see. I believe it's going to be light-bodied. Let's go ahead and swirl a little bit. Yes, it is very light-bodied, but it does look like it's very, very oily. It does look like it's going to have a lot of the oil to it overall. The legs are almost non-existent the way that it comes down, so you can tell this is a very low-end bourbon. Nothing shocking on this one at all. We're going to get probably what we paid for, unfortunately. So probably going to share this with friends and not really regret it. $8, what's the big deal? Let's smell it, though. Very, very sweet forward. Surprisingly, there's a lot of oak in this. Now, for it not being an age statement, I'm guessing it's probably been in here at least 4 years, because the amount of oak coming straight up towards you is very, very overpowering. There is a lot of sweetness, a lot of corn smells, very, very, very corn forward and sweet. There's vanilla, some very light butterscotch, and it almost smells like we are probably going to taste some spice on the back end. I kind of feel like there's some creeping up rye coming in here. Overall, smells pretty good. We can say, just to kind of sum it up, Light body, definitely. Sweet, and a lot of oak. There is some char smells coming in there. So overall, I'm thinking we're probably going to have a very quick palate going on here. Sweet on the front, probably some oak in here. So let's go ahead and take a sip, see what we get. Almost immediately, the oak flavor just takes over your mouth. It's about all that you can taste. The oak flavor is coating the entire part of my mouth right now, the roof and all around. There is almost no burn whatsoever. There's a light spice right here in my throat, but it's nothing uncomfortable. It's already subsiding. Very, very light cinnamon flavors, but the oak is surprising. It just shoots right there, and it takes over the entire palate. Now, the corn isn't as present as what I thought it would be. It is sweet, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't taste as much like vanilla as it does butterscotch. There's definitely some butterscotch pudding flavors coming in here. I feel like I'm eating a snack pack pudding. It's taking me back to my childhood, but let's go ahead and give it another sip, see if it changes at all. That sip, it felt like my mouth was already prepared for it. This time there was absolutely no spice whatsoever. There was no warmth. There was no Kentucky hug. And the oak was definitely there, but it didn't rush in like it did before. It just kind of pleasantly coated my mouth. I think it tasted really good. The butterscotch was still there. So overall, I would say we've got, for $8, a pretty decent bourbon. This isn't going to knock your socks off. No one going into this is going to expect an $8 bottle of bourbon to be as good as, name your favorite here, whether it be Blanton's or Basil Hayden or whatever it might be, whatever company. This is an $8 bourbon. So we need to kind of check our expectations at the door here a little bit. I think most people are probably going to buy this just as a mixer. That's what I can see most people doing, maybe an old fashioned. Or if you're brand new to bourbon, you might be intimidated by doing a really expensive bourbon. So you see this thing for $8, you think, hey, this is a good introduction. This is the Bud Light or Miller Light or Coors Light or whatever you want to call it of bourbon. How can I go wrong? So if this is what gets you started on bourbon, I will applaud you. Just keep expanding. This is also good if you're just going to a party, honestly, and you just want to bring something because you told them you were going to bring something. This isn't bad overall, just something you don't feel bad about bringing out. People sipping it, having the whole bottle gone, and then you're not going, wow, that was a $60 bottle that we just killed. This is $8, so you can buy a couple. You can then buy yourself some other stuff for the party, some beer and food and everything like that. That's what I'd recommend this thing. I would say definitely drink it neat. It's 80 proof. There's no burn whatsoever. You will not need ice on this no matter what. Please try this neat. If you're used to just throwing ice and water in it, try this first because it's all sweet and wood. That sounds really weird. There's a lot of sweetness, a lot of wood in here. Just let it go, give it a try, and then kind of modify from there. I don't see anyone needing anything whatsoever on this. But this was our first budget review. Hopefully you liked it. If you tried it before, go ahead and let me know in the comments below what you think of this bourbon, or if you've not tried it or you've had something else, what is your favorite budget bourbon? One of the ones that I really want to try is Old Grandad 114. I keep hearing how awesome that is, and it's not expensive at all, and I've heard incredible things from almost everyone. It's unfortunately really hard to find in my area, so one day hopefully I'll find that. But let me know what your favorite is and what you use it for. Do you buy it as a mixer? Do you buy it just for parties and you don't care? Or do you honestly just enjoy $8 bottles of bourbon and you say YOLO to everyone? Let me know in the comments. If you're new to the channel, let me know in the comments below if you're new. And don't forget to subscribe. I look forward to meeting all of you new bourbon lovers in the comments. So until next time, guys, remember, this bourbon is not going to drink itself. We have to help it. That's some good $8.